Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says yo.
Greetings, Koopalings. Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast. We've got TGAs and CODs and DLCs and lots of other three-letter acronyms to talk about tonight.
Yes.
This is definitely going to be a good show tonight. I'm Rebecca Stoke.
Yep.
I am here with Garret,
Hello.
like I am every week. How are you doing today, Garret?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I just want to, I want to tell a story. Well, not really a story, just an anecdote, a small story.
Let's hear it. Let's start off the show strong.
Yeah. So actually, there's one of our neighbors in the apartment complex downstairs. He lives on the first floor. He's a painter. I think that's what he does for a living. He just paints and sells his art. Super cool.
That kind of like an artist painter, not like a wall painter, like painting houses.
No. He's an artist.
Legit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so he displays his art like throughout the day, just like out on his porch, and I see all of his paintings there. And he does thematic like paintings like every month or so. And recently he's been painting kind of like portraits of very famous high-end tech people. Let's say like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. Yeah. I was about to say Bill Clinton because people in the chat are talking about Bill Clinton,
we can talk about Bill Clinton later.
Yeah, the high-tech agents, but in as homeless people, and is actually I couldn't really see it was actually them unless I really paid attention, and I'm like, That is such the most unironic symbolism of San Francisco. It's just like the vast amount of
I love that. Like
homeless
kind of considering what their lives would be like in a different, so things had been different for them. And you're right with the homeless population.
It definitely paints, what the problem is with the city. There's a very high, if people don't know, like there's a very high portion of homeless population in San Francisco. It's pretty obvious. But there's also a huge tech boom all around. And it's kind of interesting to see like, there's, the people who are super successful. It's like, well, if they had the wrong choices, if they had any kind of circumstances, they could have been ending up like that, like what we see. And it's some really good painting.
And ironically, and this is me, I feel like those particular billionaires don't really care too much about that homeless population. And you're right that this is a reality for so many people. And I guarantee you they have never imagined themselves in that scenario. I love that. I would like to see his artwork. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is that same neighbor that you said is into video games too? You were telling me about?
No. So the other one who's into video games, he actually works for a game company, but I haven't talked to him ever since then. So yeah,
you got to buddy up with
interesting people around here. Yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome. How has the rest of your week been going? Any video games in your life this week?
I've been super busy. You know how it is. Just been really cramming it with writing stuff. Actually, today, I'm very happy because my last paper got published from my PhD. Like,
congratulations.
I'm officially done with all the work that I was, wanting to finish with the PhD. Now it's out there. People can cite it. That's awesome. I think that's when you really close the research and really close the PhD. So
sounds very fulfilling.
Very happy with that. I still been playing Pokemon. Still on that train. Yeah. Oh man, you're right.
What point are you at now?
I'm almost done with getting all the badges. I'm on the 8th gym badge. I'm getting one more legendary badge and one more hideout badge. Those are like the last 3 I need. before I need to continue on with this story. Yeah, you're right. No, the level scaling sucks. It really
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a huge stinker in the middle of it. I think I took a totally, I mean, I think I took a fine path to go, like a little ring around, because, you know, it kind of makes sense in my head, because I want to make my own journey, you know? I want to go through this game and make my own journey.
That's the point of the game.
It didn't happen, because like I got to like maybe the 5th badge, and now these Pokemon are like 30 levels below me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm just gonna one shot these and just blow through this game now. This is ridiculous. I think other than the performance issues, I know we've been mentioning about that all the time. Aside from that, this is a huge stinker to me. This is like making me not
Is it
enjoy
affecting
the
you
game
that
as
much, that level scaling?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's
Okay.
halfway through the game. It's literally halfway through the game. My party is like at level 50, and I'm facing level 20 Pokemon, and I don't want to go back to my box and grab a new set of party. Like, I'm a type of Pokemon player that like I like to keep a party, and like that's my journey. Like, I'm a
You want your
Pokemon
team.
trainer.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Exactly. I want my team. I didn't nickname them or anything, but I like to have the Pokemon I have. It's the best team I have. I want to face that throughout my journey. And when I got to that 5th and 6th badge, I'm like, well, I guess I'll just blow through this.
Right. So. I feel like it's like your mileage may vary, because you are, it sounds like you're having that happen a lot more than I did. I think I had one gym where I just kind of blew through it. The rest of it, and you know what, that's just a matter of luck, because the path that I took just so happened to be, for most of the game, pretty scaled with my level. There were instances where I went somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way too high. I'm going to come back a little bit later. But I only had one instance of that, going back to a gym that I probably should have gone to earlier in the game, and blew through it. And that was fine. But I feel like in your case, if you're having that happen, not for just for one gym, but you're having that happen, you know, for
4
several
gyms.
like,
yeah, actually 3 gyms, I think.
And I feel like that's going to happen if you spend a lot of time maybe doing some other things. Like maybe you were doing a lot of those Titan fights, maybe you were out exploring, catching a lot of Pokemon, like you're getting over leveled. Like that's going to happen to you depending on how you play, which isn't fair, because this is, they gave us 3 paths to do, and it isn't open. Like you can go wherever you want from the start. And I don't know if level scaling would have made things perfect, but it would have helped you in this scenario.
Helped out.
Yeah.
It would have helped
I'm
out,
sorry that it's souring the game so much for you, though.
The thing is like I kind of just try to make my own path, and then it kind of just jumps all around. I would be like at a level 20 Pokemon, and then like I would jump over a cliff and I'm facing a level 50 Pokemon. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what to do in this case. Like I might as well have my strongest party here just to make sure everything just goes through smoothly. But like this scaling is kind of messing me up. And like, so what I did, and just letting the folks know out there, I went from the like east side and basically made a ring around. I went east. I did all the gyms and the legends off to the east, northeast. Then I head into the mountain, the ice mountain.
That's like kind of later corner. Game. So you were going to the like what's supposed to be the later game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the strongest stuff. I literally went. I kind of actually suspected that, because it kind of jumped like 6 or 7 levels between like a boundary, like between the ice mountain and like just normal grassland. It was like, it was just in that boundary point for me. I was like, okay, but I can trudge through this. I can just grind a little bit. And I did. That's what I did. I grind a little bit there, and then I just toughed it out and went all the way through. And then once I got completely opposite point, like very north of the crater in the center of the map, that's when it totally stunk for me. Like levels went down to 30, and then all the way back down to the west. Now I'm on the 8th gym. I'm facing level 15, 16 Pokemon with my
which was probably supposed to be like
Pomo.
The first or second gym.
Yeah. So
that's a shame.
Anyways, I do want to get through it. It's super easy, so it's not like hard or anything. So I'll just like watch a TV show while I press A the whole time. But then I'll head to the Elite Four and get a real challenge off of there and finish this game up. So
you did all the Titans?
I'm on the very last Titan.
Yeah. What's the one that you left for the last one?
It's the dragon one.
Okay, that one actually is like the hardest one.
Good, because the last two were stinkers for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a shame. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was 1 hideout, 2 legends, and 3 or 4 gems for me. That was
I'm sorry.
Completely over leveled. So that's fine. I'm almost done. So I'll get to the Elite Four, and then everything will be back to a challenge. I'm sure it would be much harder with my party.
Yeah.
And I love my party, by the way. So
you're doing what with your party?
I'm loving my Pokemon party. I think.
Good. The designs are really good this gen. I really enjoy them. I think they came up with some good Pokemon designs.
For sure. I think I have a couple of new Pokemon in there. I love the starter. Karada is the best. Like really, really powerful. Palmote or Palmot or whatever you want to call it. Super powerful too. Yep. Really enjoying that Pokemon. But I'll get through it. Other than that, I've been playing Steam Deck, of course.
Steam Deck, shiny new toy.
The best.
Yeah. I did not win one at the Game Awards yesterday. Just putting that out there. I was trying. I didn't. Man.
But Usher 729685.
I hope that was a glitch and that wasn't like a bot. There were all those strings of numbers that were winning. People were saying that they could have been bots. I think they might have been like people's Steam IDs, like that you don't see. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just the Steam tags or Steam IDs or whatever. So it may be some bots, but not too much. But I'll have full impressions of emulation next time around.
Excellent. Probably looking forward to it.
I have a lot of games to go through to just try out the performance of emulation. I can't wait.
Cool. Looking forward to hearing it. I also have mostly been playing Pokemon Scarlet this week. Since I had beat the game, I haven't. So I will go through and try to catch every Pokemon because I keep that living dex. I haven't really started to do that yet, just because the times that I have been playing this week have been really small chunks because I've been busy. So I've been dedicating that to mostly doing the Terra Raid battles and looking for my first shiny Pokemon, because I didn't get one for the entire. Have you found a shiny yet? A shiny Pokemon?
I haven't found a shiny, no.
Okay, because I feel like you thought you did.
I thought I did, but it was like one of these Pokemon that changes colors just every now and then. I forgot what it's called.
Was it Tatsugiri, the little fish?
Yeah.
That's the one that I've been shiny hunting. That is my favorite new Pokemon this gen, Tatsugiri. Because it's this tiny little fish. How many colors does it have? It has 3 normal colors. Do you actually? Okay, so this Pokemon, it's a little bit of a gimmick Pokemon.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to talk to you about that gimmick next time because there's a little bit more to that you haven't encountered yet.
I caught the yellow one.
Okay, yeah. So with the shiny version for that, there's 3 different color shinies for it depending on the form.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I wanted one very specific shiny. I wanted I guess it's like the pink shiny, because it's all white. So I didn't get a shiny during the whole game that I was playing, which I felt like I was the only one, because everyone was talking about, oh my god, like I got like 6 shinies during the story, and I'm glad that you haven't either, because then I'm not the only one. It's not my game that's broken. But I I ended up finding my shiny white Tatsugiri this week. I was trying to get those like Herba Mysticas during the raid battles that they're saying it's like they're things that you can put, like ingredients that you can make when you're making the sandwiches that help with the shiny odds. And so I was trying to get those so I could increase my shiny odds, and I haven't been getting them because my game doesn't like me. And I ended up finding a shiny Tatsugiri anyway with like the full odds, no boosts or anything. I was just like moving through the area, and he was right there. And it was the one that I wanted out of the 3 colors. So that's my new favorite Pokemon. I'm building him up, giving him all the best stats. That'll be my little project, I think, for now. Trying to complete the decks and make my Tatsugiri the best Pokemon ever.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll probably just spend a little bit more time with the game doing like, wrapping up those kind of things.
Decks?
Yeah, just because I keep the like a living dex in Pokemon Home, like one of everything. Mm-hmm. So I'll do that for this with all of the new Pokemon, transfer them into Home when that.
How many new Pokemon are there?
That's
like 100 something, right?
Yeah. It's like somewhere. It's like not one of the lower amounts or one of the higher amounts. It's like kind of somewhere average, middle.
I think they did a good job of like mixing Pokemon now. I think they. Yeah, I think they figured out how to mix all the old gen stuff, make it familiar with older Pokemon fans, but having a lot of new Pokemon as well. So, man, like
I agree.
Every area I went to, I'm like, there's so much Pokemon.
There's new stuff. You're right, and I feel like that is a problem in a lot of older, like the recent games that I would be going through an area, a route, and just like encountering the same Pokemon over and over. Like, oh my gosh, it's the regional bird again. It's stuff that we had seen a lot. But you're right. This time I felt like there was a good mix, and I think there's only like 400 Pokemon in the game, and I'm saying only 400, but you're right, they do a good job of mixing up the areas so you don't feel like you're encountering the same stuff over and over.
A lot of diversity, a lot of strong Pokemon. Like you got, I think, like 3 of the dragon Pokemon in there. You got Bagon, like Salamence in there. You got the 4th gen one, is it Garchomp? Is that the one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good mix in there for sure.
Yep. So I'll keep going with that a little bit. I think I'm just going to be playing some of my comfort games this upcoming week.
Cool.
And then getting into some new stuff for my winter break. So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's jump into this week's news. Obviously, the big happening is the Game Awards that took place last night.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing, Garrett?
I kind of watched bits and pieces. I kind of missed the time slot with like I was a little bit in there like 30 minutes, but man, like 3 hours of this thing, I don't know who has
it was a shorter show than last year.
My goodness.
Mr. Keeley promised it would be roughly 2.5 hours. You're right, it was closer to 3. Last year, I think it was 4. Way too long last year. But yeah, he took some of that feedback into account to make it shorter. But I think, a live show, things can go a little bit longer. Yeah, it's long. Nintendo won some awards. And there were also some announcements that Nintendo came through with. So we'll recap some of that. Bayonetta 3 came home with Best Action Game. Kirby and the Forgotten Land came home with Best Family Game, a.k.a. the Nintendo Award. Wow, shocker. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope won Best Sim/Strategy.
That is what's up.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 won Best Multiplayer. I'm glad that it got that.
Yeah, me too.
And then finally, after like 16 years of being nominated for it, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom won Most Anticipated. Finally, hopefully it actually comes out next year. Kyle the Pug wrote in and wanted to know which Nintendo game do you think should have gotten nominated for an award but got snubbed? And he wants to know if there were any game that was way overhyped. Maybe didn't deserve an award.
I think all the awards were well deserved. I didn't feel like there was an award or a game in there that, let's give them the award. Actually, I have not played God of War Ragnarok, so I don't know. Like
I won a lot of awards.
That won a lot of awards, and deservedly so. It's probably a good, high quality game. I love the first one, the first reboot of it. But I think they won Best Soundtrack. And I'm just gonna say Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got snubbed on that one.
Yeah.
That the music in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 made me feel emotions and was so good during the storytelling, during the game. Like I think the music probably pushed it to like really high esteem for me. Like if it didn't have that music in that game, I think it would still be a great game, but I think it's a very fantastic game because of the music itself. The composer, I forgot his name, but he does a fantastic job with his Xenoblade Chronicles series. So I think that's one that got snubbed. But what about you?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of competition in that. I'm seeing some people in chat saying that the music in Ragnarok did make Medi in chat feel emotions. Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of good nominees for that category, for all of the categories. I am biased, and I think that Live Alive should have been nominated for more things. I don't even think it won Best RPG.
No, it didn't. Elden Ring got that, which I think Elden Ring got RPG in the game. I know. I'm
like always like torn on like there needs to be some kind of difference between action RPG and turn-based RPG, because I do not think of games like Elden Ring as an RPG. I don't think of games like Zelda is my favorite series, but I would never call that game an RPG. To me, that's not what an RPG is. And like, I know that's a lot of people are going to yell at me for that, but like, I would never call that an RPG. So
I understand that understanding. Yeah. Turn-based and action RPGs are pretty different because just the moment-to-moment combat. But yeah, Elden Ring, if you say what an RPG is, Elden Ring is like the definition of an action RPG. So I agree with you. I would love there's so many role-playing games out there.
Like let me ask you, what makes Elden Ring an RPG?
It has stats. It has a level system. You're going throughout a world, and you're going through a journey of one character.
That's like most games that come out today.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. What do you differentiate between like an action adventure game and an action role playing game?
I just wouldn't call something that. I don't know. When I think RPG, I'm not saying every RPG has to be turn-based. Like, I don't think that necessarily needs to be a defining quality, but I don't know. I think just because the character levels up doesn't mean that it's
okay. Yeah, like, there's a lot of action your role-playing
game. Yeah. You are you do that in things like I'm playing as a character in Animal Crossing. I'm role playing as a character there, but that doesn't make Animal Crossing an RPG. You know what I mean?
You're not leveling up. You don't have stats. You don't have RPG elements in Animal Crossing at all. But yeah, I'm just thinking of, let's say, I'm just putting some.
You don't level up in Zelda, but people call that an RPG.
That's very. I would argue that's not an RPG unless Ryan pulls out the Zelda 2, of course, argument that there's a level up system with that. But that's besides the point. There is. I agree with you. There should be an action RPG category and a turn-based RPG category because they are pretty different.
They are
in terms of gameplay. But Elden Ring is an RPG. I don't know how else to call it. Because it does have RPG elements, it has stats, you're picking your weapons, you're picking your skills, you're going throughout a world, you're going to dungeons, you're figuring out the lore. That is a role-playing game, action role-playing game. So, yeah. But I agree with your sentiment.
Yeah. I just, go play Live Alive. It's very good. Everybody.
Also, another game that got snubbed that did not get nominated at all, Nobody Saves the World. That game should have at least gotten in a nomination for an indie debut or whatever. Yeah, it's one of my favorite games.
A lot of people talking about that game besides you. You were the only person I heard that really talking about that game this year.
It's I don't know. It's just it really hit me good in the beginning of the year. It has a great gameplay loop, has dungeons. That's also an action RPG. Has a bunch of different skills that you can set up, loadouts, go to different forms freely. It's funny. It has its own comedy comedic story. It's tight. Man, I'm really digging that game. I wish they at least got a nomination. So, but yeah, the indie games were super stacked this year. There was a lot of great indie games going on.
There were. I'm trying to look up a list of all the winners so I could see if there's anything that I thought was overhyped. I think pretty much for the most part, anything that won an award, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. More or less. There was a lot of repeated awards, which I don't know. I think like years back that they kind of diversify a lot of the choices with
mhm.
the awards and the games, but I think this year and last year it's been more of like games repeatedly getting the
Yeah.
like multiple awards, which
God of War won
there's
a
an
lot, which
argument for
like
both.
it's deserved,
No.
but you're like if a game, yeah, it's gonna win multiple
Well,
categories. You're right.
there's a difference between like game of the year and then action game of the year. I'm like, okay, guys, like pick
Yeah.
pick a different one.
Oh, you mean
But
those
like if
kind
it's
of like the categories? Yeah. I agree.
like the
Your
category games,
yeah,
at least diversify a little bit with that. But
yeah, I agree.
anyways,
Your Marvel Snap won Best Mobile Game.
deservedly so. That is a great
Um,
mobile game.
I'm surprised. I think the one thing that I'm really surprised about, and again, I haven't played God of War, but it won the innovation and accessibility. I didn't hear
Mhm.
about that game having so many accessibility features versus The Last
Mhm.
of Us Part 1 that added all of those features that were in Part 2.
Mhm. I think
So that
Sony does
surprised
a
me.
good job of setting the standard for accessibility now. So the features you
I like
see
that.
in God of War Ragnarok is pretty similar to The Last of Us.
Okay, I
Part
like that
2 as
then.
well.
Yeah, I hadn't
Yeah.
really heard that, so that's good.
Mhm.
The best Sim strategy game. I'm glad that Sparks of Hope won that, but
Me
let's be
too.
real. Sims and strategy are two different genres. That should be split up.
I don't know why it's like that.
Yeah,
I really don't. It's such a stupid category. Just split them up.
split it
I know
up.
Sim is going to be pretty small, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
highlight some
simulation
games
games are
that,
pretty different than
people
strategy games.
might not know about. Just because people don't know about the game, like, I don't know,
Hmm.
can still be the best game.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go on to the announcements.
Sure.
What everybody cares about. They announced DLC for Fire Emblem Engage. The
Hmm.
game comes out next month. I'm a little bit
Yeah.
surprised they're announcing DLC before the game even comes out. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
It's a very small piece of DLC. This is what they did with Fire Emblem. Like it's not a big expansion. It's part of their season pass. But I did like they had the three. They announced the three heroes from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like three leaders: Edelgard, Claude, and I forgot the other guy. But they are part of your party, like part of your the rings or whatever.
Dimitri.
So the what? Oh, is it
Dimitri?
Dimitri? Is Dimitri
How
the
do
other
I
one?
know this and you don't?
I forget names left and right. Let me tell you. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool announcement, and then also Tiki from oh man, I think it's Fire Emblem Awakening. She's cool. She's dope.
Oh, cool.
Um, so yeah, very short. I think it was an ad, but I was very excited for it.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
wait.
it's definitely just, reminding people, hey, this is
Oh,
coming out next month. We're going to support it with some extra content. Here you go.
oh, Tiki's really old. Never mind. Thanks, chat, for correcting me. Tiki's really old. I think I just got her in Environmental Awakening from a side mission. So yeah,
Cool.
super cool.
This was cool. Bayonetta Origins, and it has some kind of subtitle. It's a spin-off game coming out on March 17th. It is a different art style and genre, I guess, than the main series Bayonetta games 1 through 3.
Yeah.
I thought this looked really cool. I'm not into Bayonetta. I don't like hack and slash. I don't like the genre. I tried the demo, couldn't get into it, but this really caught my eye. It looks very storybook like. I love Bayonetta, Cereza, the character. I'm gonna keep my eye on this. The one downside, it is a full $60 release. I was kind of hoping or expecting that maybe it would be a little bit cheaper because it's a spin-off game. Bayonetta is not that, like, it's a little bit more niche, I think, than some of these other bigger franchises. So I was disappointed to see it at $60, but man, the box art is beautiful. The art style is beautiful. I think it will vibe with me a little bit more genre-wise because of the combat looks a little bit different. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm not saying it's necessarily a day one purchase, but this definitely caught my eye when they showed this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was caught off guard with this game. Like, they were doing this beginning trailer. It's like, okay, we're gonna go all the way back. And I was like, cool. It's like another Bayonetta action game, but this time the origins of it. I was so caught off guard with the art style. I'm like, this is not.
Do you not like it?
I don't. It's a little cluttered for me. It looks. I could not tell where the character was for most of the trailer because it just looked so cluttered, and like there's like, oh, there's enemies here. Okay, what is Bayonetta doing though? I can't tell if you're shooting magic stuff. She's trying to be a magician. I could not really encapsulate what the gameplay was actually from this game or from this trailer. I think the art style is very cute. It's very different. I'm glad that they're Yeah. I'm glad they're taking that route and trying something different in Bayonetta. I applaud Platinum Games for doing that. But I don't know if I would rather try out the original Bayonetta games first before diving into this. I think this looks like a game, maybe for you, for people who are into this art style or longtime Bayonetta fans that want more lore and figure out the origins of Bayonetta. The $60 thing, I was a little surprised too, but it's not like a huge bummer because I was like, I
know. I feel like I should expect it these days. Like nothing's really going to be under 60 anymore. Games are going to be 70 now over in Xbox land. So I feel like it's only a matter of time for that to happen to us. So I guess I should be grateful.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it looks cool. It vibed with me. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Big surprise announcement. Hades 2 was announced.
That's what's up.
It looked really cool.
Me too.
Was doing something else when they really showed this off. What was your impression?
It looks like more Hades to me. I'm a huge Supergiant fan. More with the older games, Bastion and Transistor were like my favorite games from them. I think they just found huge success with Hades 1. And they're like, we got to capitalize off of this. Let's make a sequel and let's do the exact same thing. Let's go into early access and do that first and figure out our game and then do a full release. So it looks cool. I like the art style. I like the new characters. The writing is always top notch. I know people are very excited for this. It's just roguelike is not my favorite genre. I don't like going into a game and then losing and then going back to the round one and doing it again. I would rather see an RPG coming from Supergiant, but that's just my personal preference. I'm glad that they're moving forward with Hades 2, and hopefully I'm sure they'll have a lot of success with it.
I think for them as like an indie studio, using the name Hades again is important for them, just for the recognition alone. I didn't play Hades because again, I'm not really into the genre of the roguelike type thing, but I love watching people play this game. I think I watched
it looks so good.
Yeah, I watched my friend Mary play most of Hades on stream. So I enjoy that. I will watch people play Hades 2. Good game all around. Good music in that one too. Among Us just got a hide and seek mode. I think that dropped today. A lot of people played hide and seek in that game unofficially. The developers probably said, hey, that's not a bad idea. So they made it into an official mode. It looked like they added it for VR too, so you can play it in your normal game or your VR mode.
Is it just an overpowered like person? That's like, what's the difference?
It's like I think the objective is a little bit different. I think it's more of like a survival type mode. Where I think it's timed. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I have played Among Us. It's very different now. They have the cool thing about that is that they are adding a lot of things that fans are doing themselves. Like, people have been playing hide and seek themselves for a long time. There have been mods that add different rules to the game that the developers, I'm blanking out on the name, Innersloth, would they would develop that into the game. Things that people have been kind of doing on their own. Like, there's different rules now besides just the what is it called, the imposter, which is cool. I like when developers do that. They listen to what their fans are doing, they listen to what their fans want, and they add it into the game. If only every developer would do that for their game that sold 30 million copies. Animal Crossing. Dead Cells return to Castlevania DLC. I completely missed this announcement because I think this was during the pre-show, right? What was this all about?
It looks super dope. Do you know Dead Cells? Ever heard of the
game? I do know Dead Cells. Yeah, you're a big fan of that one, aren't you?
Oh, that's another roguelike game. I was into it for a good while. Of course, I didn't beat it because roguelikes, I just can't beat those games. They're too hard for me. But I really enjoy the art style, really enjoy the flow of that game. Plays great on Switch. They did an animated trailer, and let me tell you, go watch that trailer. Okay. I think that's the good part of this announcement, because
cool. See, yeah, I missed it. I'll go watch it.
I think you see you know, Alucard and I think Belmont or something.
So wait,
one of the characters.
Dead Cells is not developed by Konami.
No,
is this kind of just like it's a crossover? Like it's kind of like a Cadence of Hyrule type thing where this little studio was like, oh my gosh, we get to use this IP in our game.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Pretty much it. Richter and Alucard, thank you for the correction there, Metageek. Yeah, and Dracula was there at the end. Okay. Very cool animated trailer with the Dead Cell main character there.
I like that. And it's DLC, it's not a second game?
Yeah, it's DLC. It'll just be an added attachment to the original Dead Cells game. Yeah.
Cool. Hellboy? I missed this announcement too. What was that?
I missed this too. I just saw it was like one of the major announcements coming to Switch. It's you know Hellboy? Ever heard of?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, he's just I even forgot where he comes from, but he's a Marvel or DC, whatever. It looks like a beat 'em up. Looks kind of cool. It's coming to Switch too, so that's why I put it in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Earthblade. So this was announced. I remember this was announced a while back. This is from the developers of Celeste. This is their second game. They had announced it, but then we got our first trailer last night. So it looks beautiful. Celeste is another really great indie game. This one's a little bit different. It's a character that is returning to Earth after a long time since humans have been there. I think kind of like a Wall-E type thing, I guess. And the Earth is in ruins, has to solve this mystery. Beautiful pixel art. They put a big 2024 at the end of their trailer, so you can expect this game to come out in 2028, I'm sure.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But exciting for fans of Celeste. They also showed another clip of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. What'd you think about that?
Oh, well, Chris Pratt, he said some more stuff.
He did. Jules wanted to know if this movie clip changed our opinion of his performance. For Jules, it felt like a bit of an improvement.
It sounds fine. He's a fine Mario. Yeah, I'm not neither impressed or disappointed by his voice. I think the Toad character is super cute, though.
I am not thoroughly annoyed by Toad in the movie so far. I'm glad that the voice is not. Keegan-Michael Key is doing a fine job with it. So
yes, and all the Toads with their little caps. Oh, I can't wait till we go through this movie and you just hear our impressions, because I think like 80% of that movie is just Toads just running around.
I don't want them to be the new Minion. Like, that's what this is going to be.
It's going to be that, I think, more or less. They have the Toads, they have the Koopas and everything. They got the little things going on. They really enjoyed designing just a bunch of different little characters. over there.
I feel like, and I think we said this last time there was the trailer for this. It feels like the people who are working on this movie love Mario, because when you watch that trailer and you look at the background, there's tons of references, lots of little details. You know, I'm gonna go see this movie. I didn't know if I would go see it before we got, before we saw our first look at it. I am equally as excited for all of those YouTube videos that are going to do deep dives into like 50 things you missed while watching the Mario Bros movie, those kind of things.
Of course.
Yeah, I think this will be a good movie. I think they're going to do it justice.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Anything else about the Game Awards that you want to talk about? Any interruptions or any flute players?
Actually, I didn't even see I didn't even see towards the ending, because I just see God of War Ragnarok. It was the winner. I'm like, I don't really care.
It was Elden Ring won. Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. I'm sorry. Yep. The game I expected to win Game of the Year got Game of the Year. I knew Elden Ring was gonna win it all. So can you? I guess you watched all of it, or all of it. What happened at the end there? I see so many memes now. I see so many about Bill Clinton. Like, what's going on here? There's a Bill Clinton mod on Elden Ring now.
It was wild. This child,
of course,
he was 15. Walked up with the Elden Ring developers onto stage to accept the award, and was standing behind them. And after they had gotten done, they were done giving their speech, thanking everybody, he walked up to the mic and just started like saying, and I just want to shout out the Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. He should have been nominated. And everyone was like, "What?" And he got escorted out. He got arrested. Apparently, the immediate fallout from this was people were going online saying, "Oh my God, like he is this very right-wing, anti-Semitic, he's been on InfoWars type of thing." And now it's all still just, I think, kind of out there. The details aren't really clear yet, but now it's coming out that that's not the case, and that he's actually quite the opposite and is just a massive troll. He apparently is Jewish and is not anti-Semitic. Like, people are piecing together all these crazy things. I think it's just crazy that he was able to get up on stage to begin with, regardless of who it is. Like, what a security failure that somebody was able to get up on stage with these developers. Thank God nothing bad happened, but that's why Bill Clinton was trending.
Yeah, I was like wondering, who is this kid? And he's so young. He's 15, just going in and just trolling everyone. It's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, nobody's quite sure why that happens, but apparently he's an activist. He has been for a few years, which is significant considering he's 15, has been standing up for the freedom of Hong Kong. He was
he's very
at another point. At another point, he went to a Blizzard event and went up to the microphone and said something about freeing Hong Kong. So he's not a stranger to interrupting events to talk.
Okay. All right. Well, great. I mean, this is another kid we have to watch out for. I just see so many memes. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't really care. And then I hear the From Software developers had a emotional speech behind this, and it kind of sucks when this kind of story kind of just takes over.
I know, because it does overshadow the fun stuff.
Especially for the developers. They've been working their lives over this to get this a really good award, Elden Ring, and
now that's what everyone's talking about. I know, I hear you. In more exciting happenings, I think the one of the orchestra members who was playing several different versions of the flute, Pedro Eustache. He is
love him.
He's a beast. He was trending because he got extremely into his performance.
Good for him.
He's like a big flute person. He owns like 600 different instruments, very renowned, has a lot of cool stuff going on for him. Cool. Check him out. Eustache Pedro on Twitter. He's like and he seems very wholesome too. He tweeted a couple hours ago, "Flute guy here. Thanks for your amazing response after the Game Awards. God bless you all." He put that in a couple different languages for people to understand. Wow. Nice. Seems like a very cool, down-to-earth guy. Go Pedro.
Cool.
Go flute guy.
You got the piccolo. You got the flute. Yeah. And he had the bass flute going. He had the double.
Yeah. And he was jamming, which and we were talking about how tough the competition was in terms of soundtrack and score. And I think all the games that were nominated for Game of the Year had excellent soundtracks. So yeah, he was jamming, especially that beautiful flute part in Xenoblade 3. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh cool. Yeah, no, it's a really good one. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check him out. I did not see that musical performance, but that's definitely one I'll take some time.
The orchestra is always the best part. That is literally the best part of the Game Awards that I look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm also very excited for Judas. I had to put it out there. It's not on Switch, but it is from Ghost Story Games, Ken Levine, the makers of BioShock, the creator of BioShock.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so excited for Judas. It looks so good. It kind of looks, performance-wise, it looks fine, but it reminds me of BioShock so much. I'm just yes. I am ready to go back into that kind of world. So
good. Yeah. When does that come out?
My favorite announcement. A while. Oh. No, and Ken Levine, it will be a while. I think it said 2023, so we'll see.
So maybe 2025 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Right, so that's it for the Game Awards. The Mario Kart DLC that we talked about last time is out now. I played each of the tracks once. There's some good ones. There's some annoying ones. I just like the Rainbow Road. The Rainbow Road was so cool. That's got to be my favorite Rainbow Road. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, thank you.
You were right.
That is my favorite Rainbow Road.
So normally I'm super annoyed by Rainbow Roads. Not this one. This one I want to play.
Okay, cool.
It's nice. Beautiful. I need it's cool. Yeah. It looks beautiful in this game for sure.
Oh, nice. Sounds good.
In addition, this was a surprise. A new custom items feature is available as part of this. It's a part of a free update. You don't need the DLC for it. So what that means is, and I honestly thought that this was part of the game already. You can make it so that only whatever items you want to appear during the track will appear. It's kind of like a custom items in Smash, where if you want to play where every single box is blue shells, you can do that.
Yeah. It kind of changes the meta quite a bit, turning off certain items and leaving some items on. I'm wondering if you leave out certain items. I don't know what the chances are. The chances of getting different items is totally different. So
you play with all banana peels.
I think that mixes up the game quite a bit.
Yeah, so it could be fun. I think for drunk nights, for tournaments, things like that, it'll be fun. Okay, this is fun. Phil Spencer is in thick with the whole Microsoft Activision trying to acquire it, being blocked by the FTC type deal. Phil Spencer tweets a 10-year agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to the Switch. This is, I think, in an effort to show, oh, yes, we do want our franchises to be on other platforms. F you, Sony. But here's the tweet. That was my interpretation, but here's the real quote. Microsoft has entered into a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo following the merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Microsoft is committed to helping bring more games to more people, however they choose to play. And I think this is conditional, right? This is conditional if the merger goes through.
Yeah, following the merger, yes. And they're super confident that the merger
may not happen, but they are confident, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, FTC sued them, so we'll see how this shakes out now. This was
feels like it's getting messy. The whole thing feels like it's getting so messy. I don't know.
So I want
you've got politicians tweeting about it now. I saw tweets from Bernie Sanders, Warren, like
I don't want
talking
politicians
about
into this.
These monopolies, and they should be doing this, they should be doing that. Before we talk about it, I do want to raise this question from Ghost Days 99, who I think this is kind of a good question. Now that Nintendo has that 10-year deal, again, I think it's conditional. Do you think Nintendo will have the hardware that could run Call of Duty sometime in the next 10 years? I mean, yes, Call of Duty was on the Wii U. It's not going to be the best place to play it. What do you think, Garrett?
No, the current Call of Duty is still playing on PS4 and Xbox One, right? That's not a mistake, right? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 out on PS4 as well. They can opt, and they actually, Phil Spencer said themselves, like, about this question. It's like, we are pretty professional and expert in bringing games to any kind of platforms of choice, whether it be like an Xbox Series S or down to Xbox One S, down to like whatever. They're professional at it and they optimize for it. I have no doubt Call of Duty will just run just fine. Whether it be on Switch,
do cloud versions.
They could, okay, yeah. That's the other thing too. Is this the catalyst for Game Pass on Switch? And I think that's another good question with Call of Duty. It's like, hey, this is the one game that's going to be on Game Pass. Now let's try it out with Nintendo, and then see how the cloud version goes, and then a curated Game Pass list to follow. That, I think,
wishful thinking.
I think that's a likely route. Xbox has been very explicit. We want to bring Game Pass everywhere to all consoles.
Does Nintendo want that?
Nintendo doesn't care. Like, I think if it's all first party, like, games that doesn't care, like, inhibit their sales, like, sure, why not? Like,
it would be a limited library. I don't see all of those indies that are already on Switch being part of it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But first party titles, I think that's free game. Totally. I think of course, everyone's calling it out on the chat. It is a PR stunt, and it's a very spicy PR stunt. I love it. I love Phil pushing his chest out and be like, yeah, we're going to bring it to Nintendo too. Your move, Sony. You want to cancel Call of Duty on a new system, like a new hardware, or another side of it. I think this was a good move from Phil Spencer. Just, I think, because they're posing it as this game is going to be for everyone, including PlayStation, including Nintendo consoles. And if you don't, pass this merger, that's probably not going to happen. You're going to be restricting the games. Yeah, and of course, a follow-up tweet with Phil. He said that it's also going to be promised going to Steam as well, which it's not surprising. Also, it's not surprising it's coming to Nintendo, because Phil and Microsoft have been repeatedly saying that they are very open to bring Call of Duty and other Activision games to Nintendo consoles. So, or not other not other games, but just Call of Duty. Call of Duty is like essential to everywhere. They want to bring it to Nintendo consoles as well. So it's gonna be interesting. I
liked our little tweet, our little exchange on Twitter, on our DMs, talking about how Nintendo, we're a child of divorce right now between Microsoft and Sony. How mom and dad are fighting. We're just the little kid in the middle.
Pretty much.
We want custody with Microsoft because Microsoft is our dad. He's given us, all these shiny new toys. And mommy Sony is over here yelling at everyone. She's yelling at dad.
Yeah. So if this merger happens, expect Call of Duty to come to Switch and Switch 2 and other Nintendo consoles.
It's fine. Call of Duty has been on Nintendo for a while before the Switch I don't think it was anything anyone particularly cared for. I had it on the Wii. It's fine. I think it is PR. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think it will be pretty. I think it will be a big message when Call of Duty comes back to Nintendo consoles, especially coming from Microsoft. I think this kind of merger and the resistance behind it, with so many like regulators and of course Sony, which it kind of makes sense. I think this is a story of like the gaming industry. Like I know we don't talk about it because it's not Nintendo related.
No, but this is big for the industry. I think
Huge.
this is a big happening, and the
Yeah.
outcome will either way, whether the merger goes through or not, is going to affect a lot of things industry wide.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And then to wrap up the news, just a reminder that Splatoon's first ever Big Run event is taking place this weekend. It's open now. It lasts until Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's basically Salmon Run on the Wahoo World stage, some other little happenings there. If you take part, you receive an in-game locker design, all these catalog points, bonus rewards. There's going to be some kind of results announced afterwards, whether I guess we were successful or not. It's I think they're just trying something a little different, where instead of a Splatfest, it's a little bit more cooperative against what do they call it? P versus E or
PvP
whatever.
or PvE.
Yeah, it's not PvE. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, PvE.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try it out this weekend. Probably jump into it tomorrow. Kind of see what that's all about. Hopefully it's fun. But yeah, jump in on that if you have Splatoon.
Is it a new stage? What is Wahoo World stage?
No, Wahoo World is one of the multiplayer stages. It's not a Salmon Run stage normally. It's one of the ones that you would play like normally in like Terra 4 battles. So I think it's just going to be a little bit different, like how it's set up with Salmon Run, because normally with the symmetrical stage, you're fighting a team against a team, but now you're fighting against the salmonids coming up on all sides.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Sounds
so
good.
We'll see what that's all about. All right, we have a couple chat questions directly from you to wrap up the show. 2 of them, but 2 good ones. Canadian Crawler wants to know, when putting together lists for your game of the year, should they only include new releases from this year, or could any game you played in the past year, retro games even included, be considered? Good question.
That's a great question.
What do you think?
I mean, I think I put Chrono Trigger in my list last year, somewhere in there. I think it's all up to you. I typically bring in older games if they're of note into my game of the year list, just because I experienced it this year. I would like to at least recognize it, and it's like, hey, even though it didn't come out this year, this is what I experienced this year. And like, the mentality that Ryan Turford has over at the RPG Cave, if it's a game he never played, it is a new game in his eyes. Whether it came out this year or 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. It's a new game. So you're experiencing it for the first time. I would say bringing in all the old games and retro games into your game of the year list if you want.
I mostly agree. I think definitely for like your personal game of the year, I would never say do anything like that on like a larger scale type of game award event. Obviously, it always like makes me so mad when the games that have come out like in previous years are like in the discussion for those game awards type things, like Genshin Impact winning the player's choice. Like, that game didn't come out this year. Stop it. Regardless, I always do 2 different lists. So I actually I'm going to be tweeting probably in a couple weeks, my own game of the years. And I made 2 collages, one for games, my favorite games that came out this year, and my favorite games that I played for the first time this year that are more retro, whatever they came out other years. So I definitely include them in my own conversation and my own lists, but I try to like separate them just,
a little bit.
Yeah,
I get it
for my own purposes. But yeah, I think it's just a personal thing.
Gosh, I don't know if I play enough games to like even separate those things. Like, I play like, I don't know how many games you like go through in a year, but it's like maximum for me if I finish them. I think it's like 12 to 15 games.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't play that many games either, and it kind of depends year to year, like how busy I am, like things like that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, that one year I played almost like it was almost all retro games. I think it was 2020 when we were in the pandemic. Like I spent the whole summer playing retro games, and like I had like no new releases to talk about that year. So yeah, it just depends on what your year was like and what you enjoyed the most. And then G-Man wants to know, with the Mario Kart 8 Wave DLC being halfway done, and Mario Party Superstars is next to have DLC, hopefully. When do you think this will be announced? Possibly during Direct or quietly announced on Twitter? Yeah, that's like crazy to me that we have not had DLC for Mario Party Superstars.
When did that come out? Last year?
That came out last year, I think. Like, do you think it's going to get DLC at this point? There's only like 6 boards in the game.
So yeah, I don't know much about. I sometimes Mario Party's super weird, where they like don't do anything and then they'll just quietly do a random update of just like, here's an extra stage, here's an extra DLC pack. So I can't really predict of what they're gonna do. I can totally see Mario Kart 8 DLC continuing being in directs and Mario Party Superstars being super random, like a quiet tweet. And just like, hey, this happened. We have a new mode. We have a new stage or whatever. I think that's what's going to be like.
I think I agree. It does seem that Mario Party has been a little bit more lower key. It's, you know,
I heard Superstars is good.
It is good. Yeah, and it's a shame because I feel like you see like I don't know. They're live service games that keep getting these free updates are like the ones that people don't care about, like Strikers and Switch Sports and whatnot.
It's so weird.
This one needs like give us more boards, give us more characters. I don't know. Can you imagine? I want to keep playing it.
If they didn't have DLC for Switch Sports and Strikers and instead just worked on Animal Crossing DLC content. I think it would get a lot more people. I don't know. I think it's just studio dependent.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. But yeah, hopeful. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, GB. Anything else to wrap up the show?
Nothing too much. We're getting close to the end of the year. We'll definitely record our Game of the Year stuff with Donnie and them over there at PSVG.
Yeah, are we doing that with PSVG? I saw there was some talk of it.
Yeah, we're recording. Tentatively,
couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. We'll do a Game of the Year thing, and then I guess we need to talk about our Nintendo Shack schedule as well.
Yeah, so I'll be out next week. Yeah, a guest will be in with Garrett next week. We'll keep you guys updated on Twitter and Discord about what our end of December schedule will be like. Might be some shifting around depending on.
I want to do Fantasy Critic too. I wonder if I should do that live. I think we're sticking with one league, and then we're gonna do. But it will be definitely more open in terms of game types because this year we restricted on the remakes in the HD ports.
It was a little bit hard to pick some things after a while after everything was taken.
You have to be you had to be a little active on this year, but next year I think it's 4 people less, so it'll be more manageable. Plus we're opening up remakes in HD ports because I think
I'm there for it.
I honestly, this year it was a wild card. There's sometimes
I am currently in third for this year.
I was so surprised.
You came out of nowhere. Does third get their money back still, or are we not doing that this year?
You get your money back, yes.
Okay, I'll put that. If I do end up in third, I will put that to next year, which I did last year. I came in third last year too, Garrett.
You did come in third in last year.
I'm very good at coming in third.
4th or 5th place or something like that. What really screwed me was the Square Enix kind of trifecta JRPGs that came out in the fall. I thought one of them was going to be a hit, you know. I thought one was going to be like, okay, a good.
You took the
points.
Diofield Chronicle, yeah.
Yes, I took the Diofield Chronicles, and then Star Ocean and Harvestella. I think those were the 3 that I took. That did not do too high, especially Star Ocean. They gave me negative points. So, but
Star Ocean, you have 1 point. It went up. It must have gone up. You have 1 point for Star Ocean.
I'll take it. Yarden.
Yeah, Yarden is
Shiv.
Yarden is way high in first. Nobody's catching him. So GG to Yarden.
What took it for him again? What was the 30 whatever points that got him?
He had a lot of good ones this year. He had Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course for 18, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, 16 points. He had Nobody Saves the World. He had 2 Point Campus, Return to Monkey Island.
He had Immortality.
Yeah. He had a lot of high scoring points there.
Yeah, Immortality was up for a lot of nominations too in the Game of the Year.
Yeah, for anyone who has no idea what we're talking about, we do a Fantasy Critic League over in PSVG land where you pick games that you think will score high on Open Critic. So highest critic score. It's like a fantasy draft. You make a team, you pick your games at the beginning of the year. Anyone can do it. You can make your own league. Check it out, fantasycritic.games.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
go ahead.
No, that's it. That's next Monday, actually, for people who are interested, over the RPG Cave, Carpool Gaming, another shout out. We're doing a review of a review discussion of Pokemon. It'll be me, Ryan, and 3 other people from the Carpool Gaming group, and we are just gonna hack it out and just talk.
You got to beat it before that.
I don't know about that.
We'll see. If you're going in depth about that game, you have to beat it before that.
Fine, sounds good. I'll beat the game.
Bang it out this weekend. Do it.
Well, what's the so Elite Four and like in the story stuff? What level range are we talking here? 60s, 70s? Is that like
about
on the higher end?
If your team is in the 60s, you'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. I'll make sure to do that.
All right. Looking forward to it. That will do it for this week. Koopalings, have a good night and a good weekend.
Yeah. Bye-bye.